and size of the cavities, it is not coinciding to each other. And as you can see in the slide, there are two walls of the thorax. It is anterior wall and it is posterior wall. And there are two cavities of the thorax. It is pleural cavities, which is double, and this is mediastinum, which is single. So if we will really count the cavities, we will find not two, but we will find three cavities. Yeah, right and left, pleural cavities, and between them mediastinum. Very well. As usually any region, we start to discuss from borders. Now let's come to the borders, first of all, of thoracic wall. Now look to me, guys. Upper border of our thoracic wall, it is absolutely coincide with lower border of your neck region. As you remember, it is jugular major sternum, clavicles up to the acromion, and from acromion imaginary line up to the spinous process of C7. Lower border. It is the border between your thoracic wall and between your abdominal wall. Look, I don't say between thoracic cavity and between abdominal, because border between thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity it is diaphragm, which is splitting these two cavities from each other. Yeah? But what is the border of the walls? We started from the tip of the xiphoid process. Then it is passed along the costal arches. Then it is come to the free margins of 11 and 12 ribs. Then it passed by lower border of 12 rib up to the 12th thoracic vertebra, primary spinous process. Once again, xiphoid process of the sternum, costal arches, 11, 12 free margins, inferior margin of 12 rib up to the spinous process of the temple. This is understandable? Brilliant. Thank you very much. That is the borders of wall, but what the borders of thoracic cavity? Now look to me, please. If I will show by my two hands approximately borders of my thoracic wall, and now I will change and show the borders of thoracic cavity, you will see that thoracic cavity is much more smaller than the thoracic wall, which is compacted. And main reason why thoracic cavity is smaller than the wall, it is high position of your diaphragm. Now, your diaphragm has very high position, and it is make thoracic cavity smaller because it is ascended to upwards. Let's say, look, if we will speak about bone borders of thoracic cavity, from upwards, instead of the clavicles, we will have first rib. Instead of the C7, we will have the T1. So you can see that it is a little bit located down to the upper border. If I will say inferior bone border, it will be approximately same bone border which I described for the bone, but it will be not the real border of the cavity. Because real border of the cavity will be into 5-6 centimeters up to this border due to the high position of the diaphragm. Which conclusion I can make? A huge amount of the abdominal organs will be under the ribs, but inside of the abdominal cavity, like your spleen, like your liver, like your stomach. Just, how I can say, logically or simply anatomically, we can think that that is thoracic structures because they are located behind of thoracic cage. But in the real situation, all of them located below the diaphragm. It means not inside of thoracic cavity, but inside of abdominal cavity. That's why remember, please, a real border between thoracic and abdominal cavity, that is not the bony border, that is muscular structure, that is your main respirational muscle, which is called the diaphragm. Of course, all these problems which I mentioned for you make the thoracic region small, make the thoracic cavity concentrated, and due to this reason, part of your thoracic organs leave your thoracic cavity. It is belong to the apex of the lung and to the cupula of the pleura. They become to your neck region, and as you remember, they located into the scaleno-vertebral triangle. And that is happen primary because the space is not enough for the localization of the structures which I mentioned. Do you have any problems with the borders of thoracic wall and thoracic cavity? Because that is primary radiation which you should understand. No problems, brilliant. In the thorax, guys, you will make huge amount of different manipulations. And it will belong the physical methods of the investigation, like auscultation, palpation, percussion. It will contain some surgical manipulation, like punctures. It will contain the surgical accesses, open or, for example, laparoscopical. It's like you need to have some landmarks. And the landmarks in the thorax region, primary, we draw by imaginary lines. And there are two groups of imaginary lines here, vertical and horizontal. Vertical imaginary lines is 11 here. 11 vertical imaginary lines. From these 11 lines, first and last is single, all another is double. Except vertical imaginary lines, there are two horizontal. Let's say 11 vertical and 2 horizontal. By the way, majority of this vertical line we continue into the abdomen, and we use also like the landmarks in abdominal region also. And very quickly, just look to me from in front and behind two median lines. Anterior from midpoint of sternum and posterior from midpoint of spinous process. Laterally to them, we have the double lines. So first double lines anteriorly, it is sternal lines along the lateral margin of sternum. In the back, it is vertebral lines along the tips of the transverse processes. Before drawing the third lines, we need the fourth lines. Anteriorly, it is middle clavicular lines, and posteriorly, it is the scapular lines. Middle claviculars from midpoint of the clavicles, scapular from the angle of the scapula. Then these fourth lines is drawn, we can become to line number 3. In anterior wall, it is parasternal line, in midpoint of distance between sternal and middle clavicle. In posterior wall, it is paravertebral line, again, in midpoint of distance between scapular and vertebral lines. Then we come to the group of the axillary lines, which is 3, anterior, middle, and posterior. Anterior, generally, you find the lowest point of the major pectoral, a draw descending line. Posteriorly, lowest point of the latissimus dorsi in armpit, and you draw the vertical descending line. Middle, of course, the midpoint of distance between them. So remember, please, from these 11 lines, again I tell you, first and last, it is single lines, all another lines, which is located here, it is down. Very well. Except vertical lines, we have also horizontal lines. Horizontal lines is 2. One is located in anterior wall, and second located in posterior wall. Anterior line we call pectoral horizontal line. It is passed strongly by inferior margin of major pectoral. If it is hard for you to palpate it, especially for females due to the breast location, palpate it the 5th rib and provide this line along the midpoint of the 5th rib. That will be safe. In the back, you draw the horizontal scapular line, which is connecting the inferior angles of the right and left scapulas to each other. And this horizontal and part of the vertical lines we use for the division of the thorax. Now you can see in this picture that anterior and posterior thoracic wall by several lines divided into compartments. First of all, anterior and posterior walls splitting from each other by middle axillary walls. In front of them we have anterior wall, behind of them we have posterior wall. Each one in its turn divided into 5 compartments. Anteriorly we use sternal lines and the pectoral line. Posteriorly we use the scapular line, vertebral lines, and the scapular line. Yeah? 5 regions which you see in anterior wall we call anterior superior, right and left, and anterior inferior, right and left. Between them there are single sternal regions. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the back it is posterior superior, It is posterior inferior, and between them the single vertebral region. What I want to say you, in thorax, anteriorly, posteriorly, there are regions which is belong to both parts of human body, and to extremity and to thoracic region. And especially in anterior wall, it is so-called subclavian region, which is bordered from downwards by the third rib level. In the back wall, it is the scapular region, which is bordered by the horizontal scapular line. You know, subclavian region, the scapular region, that is not only part of the thorax, but it is shoulder girdle, which is connected your three upper extremity. You know, 4 regions we have in shoulder girdle. It is deltoid, axillary, subclavian, and scapular. They surround it from all sides your humeral joint and make the junction between the trunk and the three upper extremity. Say 2 from these regions, I mean the subclavian one and the scapular one, located in the wall of the thorax. This is what I want to say about division. Now, right, it's a small topic name. It is anterior superior thoracic region. Anterior superior thoracic region. Now we need attention. As usually, we start from the borders of the region. Say from upwards it is the clavicle, which we discussed before. From down it is the pectoral line. From the medially it is sternal line. From the laterally 2 structures. First of all, it is sulcus deltoid pectoralis. Now look please to me. I put my fingers in the natural, greatly developed groove, which is located between your major pectoral and between your deltoid muscles. As you remember, in the fatty tissue here, we have the cephalic vein. Cephalic vein, one of the 2 biggest superficial veins of the upper extremity, opposite one is basilic. Cephalic vein doesn't finish in the upper extremity, it is continuous into the thorax. It is reached approximately the lower margin of your clavicle. Here, groove is enlarged and called Monerheim fossa. It is penetrated here, the proper fissure, and drain immediately into the axillary vein. Let's say this superficial vein, together with the groove, make the division of your thorax from upper extremity. In the same time, laterally also, we have the middle axillary line, which is divided your anterior thoracic wall from your posterior thoracic wall. I think it's also understandable. Very well, and let's continue. Then we discuss the borders. We come to the layers. And layer number 1 is this. What is the specificity of the skin? One minute, guys, I will drink the water.